Hare Krishna, welcome you all to the Sunday Bhagavad Gita classes. So we are in the chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, and chapter 2 is also called as Summary of Bhagavad Gita, and it is also called as Sankhya Yoga. Why it is specifically Sankhya Yoga? Because Krishna is talking about the qualitative analysis of the soul. He is giving us a clear difference between the body and the soul. So, especially in the second division, where the acronym of the second chapter is Gita, G stands for accepting the Guru. We saw that in the beginning of the chapter, Arjuna was in a very confused state and he wasn't sure whether to fight or not. At that point of time, Arjuna accepted Krishna as his spiritual master. Then Krishna, taking the position of a guru, started instructing Arjuna. And the very first instruction Krishna gave to Arjuna is, we are not the body, we are the soul. So because Arjuna was still showing the compassion in the bodily platform about killing his own relatives, his own teacher, and his own guru. Therefore, Krishna wanted to give him this thing that actually speaking, he cannot kill anyone because the soul is indestructible, Avinashi. Soul cannot be destructed at all. And soul is Shashwat. Shashwat means it's always there. So the change is only for the body. And a very beautiful analysis Krishna gave in the sloka number 13th of the second chapter is Dehi nosmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara prapti dhirastatrana muhyati. So within the same lifetime, we can see that our bodies keep on changing. So similarly, at the time of the death, the soul leaves one body and takes another body. So even if Arjuna is not killing them, they still have to leave the body one day or the other. And if they are leaving the body in the battlefield, two things can happen. One is either they will go to Swargaloka because it is the Dharma Yuddha. If somebody has laid the life in the battlefield, they will go to heavenly planets. And if they are a devotee, where they will go? They will go to the spiritual world. And Krishna describes spiritual world as Yad Gatvana Nivartante Tadhama Paramam Mama. Once you go to the spiritual world, Krishna's planet, Taddhama Paramamama, there is no coming back. It is just a one way. But within the material world, even if you go to Swargaloka, you can only stay as long as your punya is exhausted. The moment your punya get exhausted, then we have to come back to the mortal world. And also Krishna says, how do we get the next body? What is the qualification for getting the next body? Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grignati naroparani. When the garments become old, what do? We throw the old garment and then we buy a new garment. So what is the criteria for buying a new garment? One is the budget, how much we can afford. And second is our taste, our what kind of clothes we like. So similarly, according to our karma and according to our desires, we take the next birth. So our desire is executed through our karma. Suppose you have 10 lakh rupees in your hands, we cannot say that how you can spend. You can spend however the way you want.
Yes.
I cannot say you can only spend on this, you can spend on that. So, with that money, you can spend anything. You're executing your desires through that 10 lakh that you have. So, similarly, through the karma that we have accumulated, we are executing our free will. Whatever we want, we can do. So, sometimes when we are doing even the good karma, what happens? It becomes pious deed. And when we become bad karma, what happens? It becomes a suffering for us in the next life. And therefore, we saw that Krishna has introduced a term called akarma, that karma which leads directly to go back home, back to Godhead. But as of now, Krishna has only told about doing his duty. And first thing Krishna gave is the knowledge about the soul. And then slowly he is transcending Arjuna to two dharmas. What are the two dharmas? One is Swadharma. Swadharma because of our own prescribed duty. So, according to the Varna and Ashrama, we have to do our own prescribed duty. Another is Parodharma. That
Dharma.
dharma we have towards the Supreme Lord,
Almighty.
because Krishna says that we are all his part and parcel.
Parcel.
Mamvivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana.
Sanatana.
So, therefore, being the part and parcel of Krishna, we need to serve Krishna.
Krishna.
Is our constitutional position. So, when Krishna started talking about the dharma, he is instructing Arjuna that he, being a Kshatriya, his duty is to fight. By doing one's prescribed duty, what is the outcome? We are not entangled with the result. I mean, we will not get sinful activities because we have done the duty as per our Varna and Ashrama. So Arjuna was previously concerned about committing sin by killing his own grandfather and the teacher. Whereas Krishna is saying that by not doing his prescribed duty, Arjuna will be committing sin. Whereas by doing his prescribed duty, Arjuna will always be in a win-win situation. If Arjuna wins the battle, he will rule the earthly kingdom. If he loses the battle, then he will go to Swargaloka. So either way, it is going to be an enjoyment for him. So Krishna is first instructing Arjuna on the terms of enjoyment, especially on karma or the karma kanda level. Like we see people generally, when they do the religious rituals, why do they do? Because you have certain mangat, you have certain desires, right? Some
Desire. Yeah.
fulfillment you wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe you you wanted some good job, or you wanted sometime people also do some sacrifices so that they can go to heavenly planets in the next life. There is a special yajna called Jyotishama. By doing that, one can get elevated to heavenly planet. So people generally do the ritual so that they can get some result out of it, right? That is what Krishna is saying. That but that is the first thing Krishna said. But Krishna did not stop with that. Later on, he is slowly uplifting Arjuna from that karma kanda to karma yoga. He is saying that whatever the result you get, your duty is to fight. Initially, he said it's always enjoyment for you. And later on, he is saying that whether you get happiness or distress, whether you win or you lose, do your duty just because you have to do your duty. So Krishna is slowly transcending Arjuna towards the karma yoga. And slowly from karma yoga, Krishna is now transcending Arjuna towards the bhakti yoga. So this is how we can see how Krishna is taking Arjuna from the lowest
Gradually
level, is
taking.
gradual level of karma kanda starting. And what is the karma kanda is not all wrong, because people are so much in sense gratification. The very reason we are taking birth in the material world is because we have certain desires to be executed. That is why we are taken this material body. So therefore, at least execute your desires in a dharmic way. Like a man and women, they want to get together. So for that, what is prescribed is do the marriage. So that is also a karma kanda ritual, but it is done in a dharmic way, so that the resultant thing, will gradually, it will purify. When they are living a dharmic life, they will get gradually purified. So karma kanda is a very gradual process of purification. However, why is the karma kanda is not very effective in this Kali Yuga? What is the problem in this Kali Yuga?
Yeah, because they're expecting results, I think. We are not doing it for bhakti, out of bhakti bhav. We
Yes,
are
We
just
Mataji,
don't
but
expecting
the Kali
put
Yuga,
Krishna.
the
Yeah.
problem is our duration of lifespan is very less in Kali Yuga.
less. Yes.
We don't
Yes.
live longer. For example, in Satya Yuga, people lived for 1 lakh year. In Treta Yuga, people could live for 10,000 years. In Dwapara Yuga, people could live for 1,000 years. In Kali Yuga, we are supposed to live for 100 years, but hardly people make it till 100, right?
Yeah,
So,
true,
Hmm.
with the
Mataji.
very small duration of life we have, how will this gradual process can help? For example, if you're in the first grade, you can just do word by word, word by word, word by word. You can study and you can pass. But if you're in the 10th grade, will that kind of studies help us?
No.
No, we have to
So
be fast.
we need to be faster, right? So in Kali
Yes.
Yuga, given that our age span is very low, therefore we are supposed to do that process which is more effective, and that is Harinam Sankirtan, by chanting the holy names of
Holy
Lord
name of
and by
Lord.
rendering direct devotional service to Krishna.
With
We can,
Krishna.
in this very lifetime, one can go back home, back to Godhead.
God.
So therefore, Krishna is slowly transcending Arjuna towards the Karma Yoga and then to Bhakti Yoga. He is also saying, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. These Vedas are basically talking about the three modes of nature.
Tirgunas.
Three gunas. So it is binding us within the gunas. Yes, you may execute your desires according to the gunas. Veda is giving us accommodating people of all the gunas, but the only thing is it will keep us entangled. So therefore, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you transcend the three Vedas. And who is the compiler of Vedas? Krishna says in the 15th chapter, Vedesha Sarvair Ahameva Vedyo, Vedanta Kritveda Videva Chaham. I am the compiler of all the Vedas.
Vedas.
And I am the knower of all the Vedas. So, Krishna being the compiler of Vedas and knower of all the Vedas, himself is saying that transcend the three modes of Vedas. Therefore, should we follow the Vedas or should we follow the person who compiled the Vedas?
The person who
The
compiled the
person who
Vedas.
Supreme
compiled the
person,
Vedas.
Supreme Lord who compiled. And then in the next sloka from number 46, Krishna says, Yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavana sarveshu vedeshu. So whatever is being fulfilled by a reservoir of water, small well can easily fulfill. Whatever can be fulfilled in the small well, that can be fulfilled by the reservoir of water. Like earlier in the villages, they have many different wells.
Yeah.
Each well they use for each
purpose.
So one for bathing, one for drinking water, one for washing clothes, one for the puja. Like that, they use different well for different purposes. So, but the same village, if it has a flowing river, then one can use the water from that river for all the purpose, because flowing river, the water in the flowing river will not attract any infections or anything. It is considered to be very clean. So it's not a stagnant water. So we can use it. So if the same village has a river, then if the both the small wells serve the purpose, whatever the big river can do. For example, if you have 10,000 rupees, and if I'm asking, are you having 100 rupees? It is understood that 100 rupees is there within 10,000 rupees. So whatever is being served by the small reservoir of water, so small wells is served by the reservoir of water. So these Vedas are like small thing. So we do certain Vedic rituals for certain purification. But if you're serving Krishna, who is the compiler of all the Vedas, that means you have performed all the other Vedic rituals. And Prabhupada was also given in the commentary that one who is able to chant the holy names of Lord this lifetime, which means we have already performed lot of austerities and penances in our previous lifetimes. If we have not done that, we will not be in a position to chant the holy name of the Lord. So that means we have already surpassed these things. So once we come to the stage of chanting, we have surpassed all the things. Therefore, for us, surrendering to Krishna means chanting the holy names and rendering devotional service to Krishna. We don't need to do all the previous process, whichever is recommended in Vedas, and we can do the direct process. And today's sloka, Krishna is very beautifully explaining us how to perform our duty. Okay, Pataji. So let's chant today's sloka, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 47. Karmanyevadhikaraste
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा फलेषु कदाचन
कदाचन
मा कर्म फलहेतुर्भूर्
मा कर्म फल
हेतुर्भूर्
माते संगो स्वकर्मणि
माते
माते संगो
कर्मणि
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा कर्म फलहेतुर्भूर्
मा कर्म फल
हेतुर्भूर्
हेतुर्भूः
मा ते संगो स्वकर्मणि
माते संगोस्तव स्वकर्मणि
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा कर्म फलहेतुर्भूर्
मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भूः
मा ते संगो स्वकर्मणि
माते संगोस्तकर्मणि
Would like to do the sloka?
Mataji, I can if nobody is
Please,
doing
please.
Mataji.
Okay.
Chapter 2, text 47. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा कर्म फलहेतुर्भूर्
मा कर्म फलहेतुर्भूर्
मा ते संगोस्वकार अकर्मणि
मा ते संगोस्त्वकर्मणि
कर्माणि in prescribed duties eva certainly adhikara right te of you ma never phaleshu in the fruits kadachana at any time ma never karma phala in the result of the work hetu cause bhuta become ma never te of you sangha attachment astu there should be akarmani akarmani is in not doing prescribed duties. Translation: you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of the action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Mataji. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकास स्वामिति नामिने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So here Krishna is saying how we have to do the work. Karmanyeva dikharasya, which means we have the right to do our prescribed duty. Karman eva dikaraste means karma here is we have the right to do our prescribed duty. But we don't have rights for what? Ma phaleshu kadachana. Do your duty, but do not do your duty because expecting some results. Okay, and another don't he's saying is ma karma phala heturbur. Don't think yourself to be the cause of such activity. Many times we think we are the cause of certain activity. If things goes good or things goes bad, we think we become the cause of such activity. Mate sango swa akarmani. So sometimes the student is thinking, okay, whatever I study, it looks like the future is very, very dim. Now the world is going very fast. There is artificial intelligence. There is this. I don't see anything. What is the use of getting marks? And what is this? Not anything. And if the student decided that I will not study anything and I will just remain without doing anything, is it right? And I people think whatever work I do, I mean, if I'm not getting anything out of it, so better let me not do any work. Let me just remain idle. Akarmani means what? Not doing any kind of
Any duty,
activities.
any work.
Just remain like that because I doing also I don't get anything. So better than that, I will remain without doing anything. So now let us just go by line by line. Karmanyevadhikarasya. So we have the right to do our prescribed duty. So our prescribed duty is as per our varna and ashrama. So we do our prescribed duty, and Krishna has given that Chaturvida bhajan. He has said that Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashah. There are 4 divisions based on our guna and karma. Guna is our modes of nature. So the people in the mode of goodness is considered to be Brahmana. Then in the passion is Kshatriya, and
Kshatriya.
passion and ignorance is Vaishya.
Vaishna.
And the person in ignorance is considered to be Shudra. So, but however, according to the modes of the nature and according to our guna, one has to do our prescribed duty. And there are 4 ashramas also: Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. So we have to be
Sannyas.
situated in that and do our prescribed duty. And how do we do the duty? We should not do the duty only for the material results. Because knowing that Krishna has already said that we are not the body, we are the soul. If everything that we are doing is only for the material benefits, will it be really beneficial?
No.
Krishna is saying this sloka after giving the knowledge of the body and the
Body
soul.
and the soul.
So, having known that we are not the body, we are the soul, our work should be towards the spiritual activity. It should not be only for the material activity. And that our activity should be for our purification. Not just doing an activity. Any activity that we are doing, it should be the purification. And by doing so, what happens when we are doing the prescribed duty as given by Krishna, and when Samsiddhir Haritoshanam in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says that whatever the ashrama we are there, whether we are in Brahmacharya, Grahastha, or Vanaprastha, or Sannyasa, or whatever varna we are, what should be the goal? Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. It should be for the satisfaction of Krishna.
Hari.
Hari, that should be our goal. You can do your prescribed duty, but if your prescribed duty is not giving satisfaction to Hari, to Krishna, then what is the purpose of that duty? For example, for those people who are working, we can give our income, the result, whatever we are getting in some Krishna conscious activity. So by doing so, our activity is getting purified. So for those who are not working, you have time. So you can read the Shastras, we can do some preaching, and we can involve ourselves in some deity worship or something where we can get purification by doing the seva. So whether you are earning, whether you are not earning, wherever we are, can we involve ourselves in activities that can help us in purification? We can be a simple housewife and your duty is to cook for the people in the home. But the same cooking, when you're doing it for offering to Krishna and give it as a prasadam, and that activity is also becoming a spiritual activity rather than being a material activity. If you are just cooking for ourselves, then it is considered to be a material activity. But if you're cooking for Krishna, then that cooking itself becomes a spiritual
Prasadam.
activity. Yeah, that is also prashadam. So, whatever we are doing, we have to do in such a way that it pleases Lord Hari and it helps us in the purification, not just doing the work only for our material activity. So, in the next line, Krishna is saying, Ma faleshu kadachana. So, don't do the duty for something that you're expecting the result.
The fruits.
Yeah. So when we don't care for the result, then we can give our 100% efforts.
Yes.
But when we are concerned about the result, then, considering the result, whether it will be good or bad, we won't be even able to give our efforts. Most of the time, the efforts comes when the effort is good. You can only put when we are not looking for the result. So without care and concern, we need to put our efforts. So what happens when we are doing any activity for some results? So if they are not fulfilled, what happens?
Disappointed, and
We
we
get
also
anxious and we get frustrated because
Yeah.
we are doing that, because knowing that by doing so we will get this. For example, we see that sometimes people buy these lottery tickets. Why do they buy? They buy thinking that they will get some lucky number and they will become rich by buying that. And when they see those lottery numbers and when their numbers is not there, what will happen to them?
They feel sad.
They feel sad, frustrated, and disappointed.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're expecting the results and when we are doing the work, that mostly it gives us the frustration. So, but in Bhakti Yoga, how do we perform the activities? The activities are performed only to please Krishna, not to
Krishna.
please our own self. So
Self.
this Mafaleshu Kadachana can only be possible if you are taking the process of devotional service. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult for us to do any work without expecting any results. Saying is very easy, but how do we follow that?
Yeah.
So easily we can say, do your work and don't expect any results. But is it so easy for us to follow that way?
Yeah.
No.
Difficult.
It is difficult. Therefore, doing that work that pleases Krishna, that can help us to come out of this karma phala, from this material entanglement. Otherwise, we'll be always in the material entanglement. So we have seen that, when we are doing that, when we are doing everything, sarvapadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. When we are trying to please the senses of Krishna, then our senses get automatically purified. Right? We automatically get purified. So tat paratvena nirmalam. We come out of all kind of designation and then we become purified. So ma phaleshu kadachana. And the third thing Krishna is saying, ma karma phala heturbur. We should not consider ourselves to be the cause of any results or any act results. So many times we see if something doesn't go good, then are we not blaming ourselves?
Yeah.
Maybe I should have done like this, I should have done like that. Had I done like this, things would have been better to me. Like that, are we not blaming ourselves? But that's
Yeah.
what Krishna is saying. Don't think yourself to be the cause of the activities. So there is in 18th chapter, Krishna has said that there are 5 factors of the action, not just one factor. The first factor is one is the performer, which we think we are the cause of this thing. And the other one is the place of the body, which is the action and various senses and many different kinds of endeavors. And ultimately, it is the super soul. It is a sanction of the Supreme Lord. If his sanction is not there, whatever we are trying to do, that is not going to come into effect. We can desire, okay, but unless otherwise the Supreme Lord is sanctioning, our desires cannot get fulfilled.
Fulfilled.
So we should think that we should not consider ourselves to be the cause of any activity, the result. I am responsible for that. No, because that very cause, thinking that I am the cause, it also brings you to the bodily platform. It makes you to think about your own ability. And when you think about your own ability, that means you're relating yourself to the bodily concept of life, about your own skills. That means we are forgetting that we are all the constitutionally Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. We are forgetting that we are the eternal servant of Krishna. We are identifying ourselves with our skills and everything. And Mate Sango Swa Akarmani. This is very important. Just thinking that, okay, because whatever I'm doing, I cannot get the results, or better let me be without doing anything. So that inaction is also considered to be condemned by Krishna. But actually speaking, inaction is also very, very difficult, right? How can one remain inaction? Therefore, we saw that in the previous classes, Krishna has spoken about 3 types of karma, in which akarma means doing our activities in Krishna consciousness. Kaya, vacha, manasa, engaging your mind, your body, and your words in Krishna's
Krishna.
service. Then that activity will become akarmani. Otherwise, just remaining idle, it is also not considered to be Correct. That is what Krishna is saying. Mate swango, so akarmani. So don't be without doing. So therefore, we have to do our duty without attaching to the results, and that is only possible by giving it our devotional service to Krishna. Okay, so now let's go through the purport of Srila Prabhupada. So work, action. So there are three considerations here: prescribed duty, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties means doing work as per your varna and ashrama. Capricious work means that work which is vikarma, which you are not supposed to do. For example, we have the four regulative principles, four don'ts. What are they? Meat eating, intoxication, illicit relation,
Realization.
gambling. So these are all the
Yeah.
don't. So these
For
are all considered to be the capricious work. So
okay,
these are all this thing. And then inaction means, not
not doing
doing anything.
any
Just,
work.
Anything.
I don't want to do anything. So this is how the work is classified. Okay. And what is meant by prescribed duty? Now we'll go one by one. What is the prescribed duty means? Those activities enjoined in terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. That, as we discussed, as per our varna and ashrama, we are supposed to do our duty on whatever varna we are situated, and on whatever ashrama we are there. Accordingly, we have to do our duty as a
Duties.
brahmana or a kshatriya or a vaishya or a shudra. Just by doing our prescribed duty, one get gradually purified and can get into the stage of perfection. So, like Vedas are accommodating people of all the modes, therefore, Krishna consciousness also works with the people of all modes of nature. Whether someone is in goodness or someone is in passion or someone is ignorance, by engaging your skills in the activities of Krishna consciousness, one can get purified. Okay. And what is capricious work? Vikarma. Capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority. That is considered to be the capricious work. For example, drinking alcohol is not allowed. So when you drink, that is a capricious work.
Activity. Yeah.
Yeah. And meat eating, at least it is not allowed for a human society. And even if it is
Illicit.
allowed, it is only allowed on a particular day. We have, as the Vedas say, on a new moon day, we can do that. To eat a small piece of meat, one has to do an elaborate yajna, and one has to invite all the people in the villages, wherever they are there, they have to feed them, and they will become eligible to get that small portion of meat. So is it anything worth? So Vedas are helping, but it is not unauthoritative. Today, people are going to the restaurant or in the home, they are killing animals and eating. That is considered to be the capricious work, vikarma, okay, without the sanction of authority. And then we have inaction, akarma. Akarma means not performing one's prescribed duty. Whatever duties we are there, if we are not doing accordingly, then that is also considered to be akarma, not doing anything. Okay. So, attachment to results causes bondage. So, the Lord advised that Arjuna not to be inactive. Mate sango akarmani. Don't become inactive. What Arjuna wanted to do here? Better let me flee the battlefield. Let me not do any activity at all. He wants to go away from the battlefield. He doesn't want to do his activity. So that is considered to be inactive. Therefore, Krishna is advising Arjuna not to be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the results. Why is Arjuna not willing to fight? Because he was worried about killing them. He was worried about the sinful activities. He was worried about enjoyment. He was also thinking on terms of compassion, and he was also thinking in terms of destruction of the family tradition. So he was thinking about the consequence of the work, isn't it? So therefore, Krishna is saying, Arjuna, being a Kshatriya, your duty is to do your dharma of fighting. So therefore, if you're giving up this battlefield, if you're giving up the fight, that means he will come under the category of akarma, not doing any kind of work. So that he is the enjoyer or sufferer of such action. So Arjuna is lamenting, thinking that How will I kill my own relatives? Correct. Because he is attaching himself with the result of the war. Therefore, Krishna is saying, just do your duty, but don't become attached to the results. So, what are the three categories of karma? As far as the prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely the routine work. Routine work means nitya karma. We all have our routine work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
own duty in the home or in the office. We have to do our routine work. We have to wake up at some time. We need to do something for the Lord. Then we have to take care of the family. Like that, we have a routine work. Emergency work. You're not a maid. But if the maid is not coming to your home, are we not supposed to do the job of the maid also?
Yeah.
So that is an emergency work, replacing somebody else's work. When there's nobody to do that work, then we are sometimes supposed to do the work of that particular person. And desired activities, right? We do certain activities out of our own desire. Like people, apart from their work, they may like to sing, they may like to dance, they may like to paint, or they may like to chit chat, or whatever it is. Like that, you do your desire duty. So routine work performed as an obligation in terms of the scriptural injunctions without desire for result is the action of goodness. So which is the goodness? It's the routine work. So we know that even the Vedas also suggested some Agnihotra sacrifice. So every day, you have to do that sacrifice before you do the work. Like that, there are prescribed duties. So as per the Shastric injunction, if you're doing our routine work, see, for example, we as a householder, we as a human being, we are supposed to rise before the sun comes up, at least. We should rise before the sun comes up. So if we are doing that, doing our routine work as per the Shastric injunction, wake up early, and then do your duty, do your chanting, do your whatever the duties you have. If you're taking care of your family very nicely, and if you're doing everything, that is, you're following the scriptural injunction. But today what people do, we wake up and we do whatever we want. We sit in the phone and the maid comes and does all the cooking, all the cleaning and everything, right? Because we are not even doing our routine work properly and without desire for the results. So do your duty because it is what Krishna wants us to do, but don't attach yourself to the results. So, how the prescribed duty should be done? Work with results becomes the cause of bondage, because what is the problem of doing the work with the result? If we are doing any work for the result, then that one causes bondage. Therefore, such work is not auspicious. Bondage means what? We will be completely in the cycle of repeated birth and death. It may be
Death.
good results. See, somebody, they may feed the orphanage home, but because you're doing that, because you think that something good will happen to you, right? So when we are doing that, yes, something good will happen to you. It's a good deed. You're fed the orphanage people. That's a good deed. But that will also have a result because you're doing with the results. Maybe in the next lifetime, you will be born in a rich family or something like that for your punya. But are we coming out of the cycle of repeated birth and death? No. So that is the entanglement that causes us bondage. Like we are within this material world. So everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to results. So we have to do our prescribed duty because it's our rights to do, but without attachment to the results. Such disinterested obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. So we should do our obligatory duty. Obligatory means what? Whatever is obligated out of us, but without any kind of attachment towards it, expectation to it, and that will lead us to the path of liberation. So in short, we just need to do the work that is prescribed to us, but we should not do because of some results. Just do your duty, but don't expect any results. What Krishna said, Mate Sango Karmanyeva Dikarasya Ma Faleshu Kadachana. Don't do your results, work because you're attached to some results. Without any expectation, do your work. So, conclusion, Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. So Arjuna should fight because his prescribed duty is being a Kshatriya. He needs to fight, but not attached to the results. So his non-participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Right? Why does he not want to fight? Because he's attached to his relatives, is attached to his teacher, is attached to his guru. Correct?
Yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
why Arjuna doesn't want to fight. So we saw in the first chapter when Arjuna was taken even the position of Brihatnala, once when Uttara had a responsibility to fight because his father was not there and Uttara never knows to fight, Arjuna told Uttara, you become a chariot driver and I will fight for you. And that time Arjuna fought very nicely. He did not have any kind of thing. He, in fact, took his weapons, from Kamyavan where it was kept. And that time, same Duryodhana was there, everybody was there, but he fought because he did not attach himself with the results. He just thought he's a Kshatriya. As a Kshatriya, he has to fight and protect the Dharma. But when it came to his own attachment, his own thing, that time Arjuna is thinking about doing the duty, right? So any attachment, positive or negative, is the cause of bondage. Inaction is also sinful. So because, okay, I do the duty because I'm getting entangled, I'm getting bonded, therefore I will not do anything. If we think that also, Krishna is telling that that is also sinful.
Not
In
right.
the last sentence, he is saying, what did he say that? Okay. Mate sangosva akarmani. So doing inaction is also a sinful. Okay. So now Krishna is very clearly telling Arjuna, by you not doing your duty, you are actually committing sin. Okay. So therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. So Arjuna has no other choice than to fight because that is the way he can do his prescribed duty. So we can see how Krishna has gradually taken us from karma to karma yoga to bhakti yoga. So karma means what? Attached to the fruits of work. So that is the karma. And when we are doing any activities with some results, with some motive, then the result is we are in the cycle of repeated birth and death. And when we are doing the work, the activities in the karma, when karma becomes karma yoga. Yoga means what? Doing the duty with detachment, not expecting any results. So when karma becomes karma yoga is when you're doing the duty without attached to the results. And the detachment comes how? Because of Gyan. Unless otherwise you have the knowledge that you're not the body, you're the soul, then how will you get the detachment? So first you should have the knowledge that we are not the body, we are the soul. The body is temporary, whereas the soul is eternal. So when we have the knowledge, then automatically what comes? The detachment. Detachment happens. And then by working in the detachment, by knowing the knowledge of the soul, it is not okay just to know that we are not the body, we are the soul, which is good. But the next thing is we should also know where do we belong to. Yeah. We also should know the knowledge of the Lord. That Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are all eternal part and parcels of Krishna. So knowledge of surrender to Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya. Krishna is saying Sarvadharman Parityacha Mamekam Sharanam. So that will lead us to surrender. Doing the work with the knowledge of soul, knowing our relation with the Lord. By doing our duty towards the Lord, we come to the point of surrender. And then when you surrender, then what happens? Gradually, you get situated in the Prema Bhakti. You will not be attached to the results. You will not think you're the cause of the results, or you will not do any work because you're expecting some results. Now, we are all chanting. Maybe some of us are chanting 16 rounds, 8 rounds, 4 rounds, whatever it is. But we are chanting for what purpose? To please Krishna. Not because, okay, I will chant so that, I have a lot of health issues. And by chanting, I will get rid of my health problems. Because it so happened once, during Prabhupada's times, there was one more yogi or someone. He was also following the practice of Sankirtana. But his motive was he was asking people to chant to come out of their material sufferings. So the chanting was mainly introduced because you are suffering in the world. So chanting helps you to come. And Prabhupada is also talking about Sankirtana Yajna, about chanting the holy name. So he told Prabhupada, we both have the same goal of chanting the holy name. So why don't we both collaborate? Then what did Prabhupada reply? No, we can't, because our motive of chanting is for Krishna Bhakti, for Prema Bhakti, but your motive of chanting is to just come out of the material suffering. So, because you have a different motive, we cannot collaborate together. Can we understand the difference? Although the chanting, the action is the same, but why we are chanting and why they are chanting, that is very different.
Purpose is different.
Purpose
Yes.
is different. Therefore, it can't be in the same level. And when Karma Yoga becomes Bhakti Yoga, what do? Whatever results that we are getting or offered to Krishna with love and devotion. The very simple process we do is
Devotion.
everybody has to eat to maintain ourselves. We eat at least 3 times a day. So the best thing that we can do is whatever we are
Offer
cooking,
to.
we can offer it to Krishna with love and devotion. Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. One who is offering it with me with love and devotion. Ashnami Prayatatmanaha. So Krishna says the criteria for him to accept our offering is one who offers with love and devotion.
Laban.
Because
Devotion.
Krishna is not hungry. Krishna is Atma Rama. He is self-sufficient. What is the need for Krishna to accept anything from us? Like a father, a child may present something to the father. The child may present a small dairy milk chocolate to the father. And that also will be father's money only, because the child cannot earn his own money. But because the child is giving that small chocolate to the father is very happy,
Hmm.
because the child is giving with the love. But otherwise, just if you entrust one just 10 rupees chocolate to him, will he be happy for that? As though he can't buy the 10 rupees chocolate, right? As though he doesn't have. So only that which is offered with love and devotion. Yome bhaktya prayachati. Tataham bhakti upakritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Krishna is saying that which is offered with love and devotion, I will accept it.
Accept.
And also Krishna says, Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi dadatayat. Whatever we do, whatever austerities we perform, whatever offering we do it as an offering to Krishna. So sometimes, we cannot be in a very, very pure devotion, but at least dovetail your activities towards Krishna. So that is very important. By doing that, then it will become the Bhakti Yoga. So we have to understand this word, Karmanyeva Dikarasya Ma Phaleshu Kadachana. Many people say that Krishna says Karmanyeva Dikarasya. Krishna said, just do your work. Right?
Duty.
They won't even say Ma Phaleshu Kadachana. And some people say Falmat Karo. And then the third and the fourth line. Mate sangos akarmani. Ma karma phala heturbur mate sangos akarmani. That nobody talks. That is why it is very important to understand the meaning of the sloka to the full. We cannot just split the sloka into one line, two line, and try to understand that sloka only from that perspective. Right? We have to understand the full sloka to understand what Krishna said to when he says karmanyevadikarasya. Not just the first line and the second line. Only when you understand the third and fourth line, then you will know the art of working. The art of working is doing everything to please Krishna. Because the desire is always there. We can't become desireless. If we become desireless, then we become stones. So somewhere our desires have to be fulfilled. But the same, that can be done by dovetailing our desires towards the
Krishna.
Krishna, towards satisfying the Krishna sense. Okay, so is this Sloka clear?
Yes,
Any
such an
questions in
important
that?
slokam.
Mataji, it's a very, very
Such,
important sloka.
such a
Yes.
wonderful slokam,
Yeah,
Mataji.
yeah. So three kinds of duties are prescribed here. One is the prescribed duty, another is the capricious duty,
Caprice, duty, and
another is the
inaction.
inaction. So either we come in karma, akarma, or vikarma. So here Krishna is not talking exclusively on akarma, means doing the duty towards him. As per now, in the sloka number 47, from whatever Krishna has said so far, he is talking about don't be without doing any activity. You have to do your activity as per your prescribed duty without expecting any results. But actual akarma means doing the activities for Krishna's pleasure. When we do the activity to please Krishna, then that becomes akarma. And that karma only will take us back home, back to Godhead. Because
Godhead.
as long as we are in the karma bandhan, we will be coming back again and again in this material world. Sometimes as a rich person, sometimes in the Swarga Loka, sometimes in the Brahma Loka, or sometimes in the Patala Loka. Here and there, like up and down, we'll be going, but we will not get liberated. And what are the three kinds of prescribed duty? Is the routine duty as per our Nitya Karma.
Nitya
We
karma.
have to do our own Nitya Karma. An emergency duty, like
Emergency
when
work.
somebody is not available to do certain work, like Mataji, you're working as a, in some position in your office. Sometimes your colleague is not there. It may not be your work, but sometimes you are
We
interested
take
with
over.
that work also, even though
Yeah.
it is not your own work. You're interested with the work. And the desired duties, we do the duty as per our desires. So this is very important that whatever activities we are doing, we should do in such a way that samsiddhir haritoshanam. It should be pleasing Lord Sri Krishna.
Hari.
And in the following sloka also, Krishna goes in the same this thing only on how to do our duty equipoised. So it is very important for us to understand this sloka very properly, not just saying that just do your work, everything will be happen. But the art of doing work is also very important. Okay, Mataji. Otherwise, for mortals like us, for jivas like us, doing any duty without expecting the results is going to be very hard.
Very difficult.
Do
Yes,
it for
Mataji.
Krishna. Then you become happy, right? You can't be without eating. You have some desire to eat. If you're every day eating plain food also, you get little bored. But make some nice preparation, make some nice matar paneer, nice thing, offer it to Krishna and have it as prasada. You feel like eating a nice gulab jamun, make it at home, offer it to Krishna and eat it. Right? So, in that way, you're not entangled with the fruit. Otherwise, we become entangled with the fruits of the activities. Okay, Mataji. So, can we do our Narsimha Arti? Any questions in this particular sloka? Is it clear?
Yeah, Mataji.
Okay.
Very nice sloka.
Yes, Mataji. As I said, it's one of the very important slokas in Bhagavad Gita. And another thing is, it is one of the most misinterpreted sloka in the Bhagavad Gita by the people. Right? Many people, what do they say? Krishna just said, do your duty. But how to do our duty, that nobody will say, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, Mataji, we'll do the Narsimha Pranam. Namaste
Namaste
Narasimhaya
Narasimhaya
Praladaladarayine Hiranyakashipu Vachakam
Hiranyakashipu
Shilatankarakaalaye
Kalaye
Ito
Ito
Narsimha
Narsimha
Bharato
Bharato Narsimha
Yato Yado Yami
Yami
Tato
Tato
Narsimha
Narsimha
Bhage
Bahe
Ma
Narsimha
Hridaye
Hridaye
Ma
Narsimha
Narasimhadim
Narsimhadim
Sharanam
Sharanam
Prapade
Prabhate
Tava Kara Kamala Valinaka
Kamalavarnaka
Adbhuta
Adbhuta Shinga Dalita
Dalita Hiranyakashipu
Hiranyakashipu
Tanu
Tanu
Bringa
Bringa
Keshavadrita
Keshavadrita
Narari Rupa
Nararirupa
Jai
Jai
Jagadish
Jagadisha
Hare जय
जय जगदीश हरे
जय
जय
जगदीश
जगदीश हरे
जय
जय
नरसिंह
नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय
नरसिंह
नरसिंहदेव
जय नरसिंहदेव
नरसिंहदेव
जय
जय
प्रहलाद
प्रहलाद
जय
महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद
जय
महाराज जय
प्रहलाद
प्रहलाद
महाराज
महाराज
जय
जय जय
प्रभुपाद
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 प्रभुपाद जय जय
प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद
जय गुरुदेव
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 जय
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 गुरुदेव
गुरुदेव भक्ति विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंह भगवान की
भगवान की जय
मणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
महाराज की जय
प्रभुपाद की जय
की जय
So
भक्ति
in one important difference in the material world, people judges by the results. Whatever results you get, even when you're working in the company, of what do they see? They don't look at your efforts. They see what results you are produce. It's only the numbers or the results that it talks, because they don't look at your efforts. Sometimes you may be working 20 hours a day, but they don't look at the efforts. But Krishna, he does not look at the results. He is just looking at our efforts.
the
So
entire
how
process.
nice is our Lord? How nice is our Lord? He is just looking at our efforts. He is not even looking at our results. But we are forgetting Krishna, and we are trying to serve the people of this material world who will never be happy with whatever we do. Right? And Krishna is happy with whatever little thing we do. That's what he says. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. A fruit, a flower, water, or a leaf. Even a poor person can get these 4 items. Any leaf, anywhere you can get. If you're offering with love, Krishna is saying toyam, water. Is it difficult to get water? And one fruit, and he did not even mention which fruit it is. One pushpa. Here are so many pushpa. So satisfying Krishna is not very hard, but only thing is it has to be done with love. Tataham bhakti upagritam. Somebody may offer a chapan book, calling thousands of people to show his, wealth and to display his own opulence. But Krishna may not accept that. So it so happened in the Mahabharata, it is given, this pastime is there. Krishna was once invited by Duryodhana, and Duryodhana has made a very beautiful feast for Krishna. But Krishna did not eat in Duryodhana's place because he has the Durbuddhi. He was not having a right buddhi. And then he went to Vidura's home. Vidura is poor. And Vidura did not have anything to offer it to Krishna. All he had is one banana. And he was so engrossed with the Krishna's presence at his home that, he thought, he wants to peel the banana and give the fruit to Krishna, to give it in a nice way. Like how for the children also, out of love, we do it in a very easy way. But, out of that ecstasy, Vidura, he discarded the fruit, and he gave the peel to the Lord. And the Lord accepted.
एक हाँ
He ate that. So imagine the Lord who neglected the big feast given by Duryodhana, and he accepted the banana peel given by Vidura. So this is our Lord. So this human form of life, which is very, very rarely obtained to us, Prahlad Maharaj says, Durlabam Manusham Janma Tadapi Adruvam Ardatam. This human form of life is, we have obtained it after many, many lifetimes. And Tadapi Adruvam Ardatam, even though it is temporary, we are not going to be in this body forever. It's going to be temporary. We do not know when is the expiry date of our body, but we can make it meaningful. That is what Prahlad says. Therefore, he says, Kaumaram acharet prajno dharman bhagavataniha. So this Bhagavata dharma should start right from the childhood. That is what Prahlad has said that. But we at least, doesn't matter, at least whatever age we are in now, at least we got into Krishna consciousness now. And therefore, we should make the best use of whatever the mercy we have got through Krishna, through Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara, and of obtaining this knowledge, of understanding this beautiful knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and execute in our life and go back home, back to Godhead. Mataji. So we need to understand how to do the work. Any work that we do, Let's do it to please the Lord. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Ata Pumsid Dvijakteshta Varnashrama. It is written in Srimad Bhagavatam that everything has to be done for the pleasure of Lord Hari. So this should be our goal of life. This new year, it's just the beginning of the year. Each and every day is precious. Each and every minute is precious. Each and every second is precious. So let us not waste a single moment of life. Once it is gone, we are not going to get back now. So this time, 8:20 on 11 Jan 2026 will never come back. No matter you spend millions of dollars, right? The time that is gone is gone. Therefore, we should utilize our time in the service of Krishna and come out of all the worldly talks and other things. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you
Nice.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Rupascha
sindhu
kripa sindhu
bhaivyam.